Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. And today we are going to be doing a deep dive into this clip that I saw about on the Whatever podcast. It was Andrew Wilson, if you guys know him. He was actually debating this chick, the MAGA, she calls herself I've forgotten what her name was, Deborah something. She is well, she claims to be conservative. She votes Republican. And the reason why I'm trying to do a reaction to this video is because I have a question as I just have a question that has always been on my mind, which is, can Western women be actually conservative? Can a Western woman be conservative? Because we know that the West is not a conservative place. It's not a conservative region of the world. It is progressive, very progressive. We live and breathe feminism. So if feminism and liberalism, progressivism, if you call it wokeism, whatever it is, if that is the norm, how can women be, or some women claim to be conservative? Where are they getting that upbringing from? Because it is not the status quo of the society that we live in today. So that has always been my question. Can there actually be a true conservative woman in the West? Anyway, without further ado, let's just dive into this video. Andrew Wilson was going back and forth with this chick about her being, she claims that she was a conservative. Andrew Wilson was trying to call her out on, that she's not really a conservative. Anyway, but let's get into it.
I think that my opinion of women was pretty well informed up until that point. Not maybe not great, but it was pretty well informed. But understanding women's nature, raising women, that's a whole different story, whole different thing. It turns out that this idea that that women are perfect until man corrupts their angelic nature is complete and total bullshit. So that's the thing that I learned more than anything quickly, is that that is not true at all, not even a little bit. And there's a lot of what she called social engineering, which tries to reinforce a narrative that women are born angelic and perfect, and only evil men. It's only after evil men corrupt their angelic nature that they do anything which is bad, and that's just not the case.
No,
I I really think that, and what he said kind of resonates with me because growing up as a young boy, that is what you think. That is actually the perception you get, that women are born perfect and then a man has to corrupt them, or the world has to corrupt them in order for them to be bad. We never like we never hold women accountable for anything. It's always someone made her do this, someone made her act this way, someone made her say these things or do these things. Yeah, I I kind of resonated with that because that was my thought process growing up too. Is just funny. Is really funny when you think about it. It's really funny. Anyway, let's keep going.
I would agree with you on that. I think hormones play a huge role into it. Specifically, like if you ever met a 14-year-old girl, they could probably use an exorcism. We've all been 14-year-old girls here.
Yeah, I don't think it's hormones.
Yeah.
I have a different way that
What
I
do you
look
think
at
it
it.
is?
So, well, I think that there's a superpower that which is corrupting to women, especially beautiful women, and I think it would be just as corrupting to men if they had it. So, just think of it as like you're an X-Men, and your kind of your mutation, your superpower is that if you're young and beautiful between the ages of, let's say, 18 and 27, basically anything you want from men, you can get. Basically anything you want. If you want a door opened, you're going to get it. If you need money, you're going to get it. If you need resources, you're going to get that. If you get in trouble, they're likely your punishment's going to be much lighter. Now, it's like this great superpower, but it corrupts too at the same time, right? Because it displaces accountability. And since it displaces accountability, once that beauty fleets, women seem to have trouble taking accountability after that. They go, wait a second, it used to be that doors magically opened for me. Gifts just showed up at my house. People just gave me resources and attention. Once that fades, though, they never learned the accountability portion. And so I think that that's a massive social issue. And because matrons in society have been rejected, meaning older women who are now always just looking to kind of reattach themselves to their youth instead of telling women to have good expectations, the matrons of society, which are designed to guide women through this, they're gone. They're summarily rejected. And instead, they try to hold these ridiculous beauty standards into their 60s and 70s where they look like J-Lo and this type of thing. And it's insane. So that's the big eye opener.
Yeah, I think it's
that I got.
Not directly opposed. I think it's just different than what I was saying, which is like I think women specifically when they're going through puberty for the first time, just as somebody who was a teenage girl and had other teenage friends, that there's something I don't know. I think women are not informed enough about hormones. We're never really taught about it, how it affects you, how people after giving birth have like postpartum depression and they can literally go psychotic because of it, even after abortions too. People don't talk about this stuff.
Men
But the thing is, and this is what before Andrew goes in, this is what I call bullshit, because when a man does something dumb, stupid, reckless, we don't say hormones. And this is the thing. It's always got to be something. It's always got to be something. When I do something, and I did some stuff growing up, I didn't say it was hormones. When I was getting my ass kicked, I didn't tell my parents, oh no, it was hormones. In fact, I would have gotten my ass kicked more if I said it was hormones. Like, it is so dumb. Like, it is so dumb. You're acting like a bitch, and then it's hormones. You're doing, you go to a guy's house and sleep with him. It's hormones. You doing like the whole nine is hormone. Like, come on, it's all BS. Men go through the same thing. We don't say it's hormones. No, we say you're a man. Even as a boy, you get treated as a man, and then you face the consequences of your actions. With women, it's always got to be something. It's always got to be put onto something. Like, this is insane. It's all BS. It's complete and total BS.
have the same thing. Like,
I know, but
this is
it
this
sucks
is
that we're not
often-
taught
this is
about
often
it.
Not,
Yeah.
this is often not thought about. But men, when they're going through puberty, right, rite of passage for men, they get ultra violent sometimes with each other, highly angry, very upset, very confused. Right? They have a hormone siege inside of their bodies as much as women do, but their accountability is not taken away. So the accountability for keeping those things in check, that's never displaced from them. It does seem like it's more displaced from women.
How is that new,
Young
though?
men,
Since the
What's
beginning
that?
of time, men have been held more accountable than women because we've expected men to be the leaders.
Yeah,
So if
but
you guys
we-
want to be the
that's true.
leaders, you should expect to be
Yeah.
held accountable as well,
well,
more than
let me
your
tell you
counterparts.
how silly this is. Sure, you know what? I'll concede the argument. You're right. Men should be held more accountable. And the thing is, though, is if you give them more responsibility, right? If you give them more responsibility, then you're going to have to also give them the authority. And so
I
you
don't
can't say,
disagree.
well, we're going to take authority away from men, which is what egalitarianism has done, and still give them the same amount of responsibility and have the expectation that you're going to have a society which isn't from top to bottom, because it is. So the thing is like, sure, hold men more accountable than women.
If you feel it, if you feel it.
But as long as they have the authority, right, nobody's going to say anything about it. But the second you say we're equal, well, then you need to have equal accountability.
I don't disagree at all. I love the patriarchy. I think men should lead, and us women can focus on painting our nails, making sourdough starters, being
What?
moms. I think the feminist
What was she saying? Painting her nails, doing. And this is something that I found. I don't know. I don't know if you guys can relate, the men. This is something that I found to be, like, I see it on a consistent basis with women in the West. When they think about I mean, I'm talking about the conservative women. When they think about patriarchy, this is the picture that they get. I'm just gonna sit at home, not do much, maybe take care of the children if we have any. I mean, nowadays people are not having kids. At most they have two. Take care of the children, cook and clean. That is the idea of patriarchy, and then the man has to do everything else. This is the idea of patriarchy. Like, I don't know whether some of them have actually spoken with women that actually live in a patriarchal country, women that actually live in a patriarchal society. Like women, they have this fantasy of what patriarchy is that is really not what they think it is. A patriarchal society isn't what they think it is. Isn't just these things you see in the 50s on TV where the woman just sits home, bake, like she was saying, make her nails, do all this nonsense, and that's not patriarchy. That has never been patriarchy. I don't even understand whether I haven't met a single conservative woman that said that they like the patriarchy. I've never seen them actually understand what the patriarchy. I think they just take the good parts of it and the things that they see or read, and then they embrace that every, but they don't see everything else that come with patriarchy. I'm not sure that they understand or they could handle it. How can they handle it? They haven't. They have never seen it before. America is not a patriarchal country. So how are you going to try to embrace something that you've never seen, never experienced, and you would never experience? Like the whole thing is just the whole thing is just when women keep saying, "Oh, I love the patriarchy," you don't know what the hell you're talking about because you don't know what it is. Anyway.
This movement is the only reason that women have to work nowadays because of the dual income, and I think
no, it's not.
it's a shame.
It's not to be pampered. No, it's the opposite, right? The idea. So this is the faux idea of what the patriarchy is supposed to do, which is enable you to be a pampered princess. It's not. What the patriarchy is supposed to do is protect you so that you fulfill your duties and responsibilities to society. And that would including reproduction and being matrons for the next generation.
I literally said be a mom and make sourdough starters. That goes hand in hand with being a traditional housewife.
Goes
makes
hand in
bread
hand with
for your
being pampered,
family.
being a pampered princess.
Have you ever made sourdough starters? If you think making a sourdough,
did you say anything about duty and responsibility? You know, you said
I said paint your nails, make sourdough, and be a mother.
They should get Post-it notes.
Be a mother and make sourdough. If you've never made sourdough, then you don't know how hard it is to keep that thing alive.
Sourdough,
and it's part of like making fresh bread for your family, making natural ingredients, meals that don't have toxic chemicals in them. I think that all goes hand in hand.
Those are making sourdough bread, stuff like this, the ingredients for it, with whatever your modern luxuries are. They're just that. They're luxuries. They're gifted. They're literally gifted to women by men. Modern luxuries are. Definitely women are not gifting women modern luxury. That's insane. The thing is that women have a duty and responsibility, an ethical duty and responsibility under Christian ethics to multiply, to have families, to reproduce. They have a duty under Christian ethics to raise the next generation correctly and be matrons to young women so that we don't have the problem of pornography and things like this. That's all gone. So as long as that duty is displaced from society for women, and instead all that's left is, well, I love the patriarchy as long as they give me a life of luxury. We have essentially, that's still just as regressive as the idea that, egalitarianism is bad and I would prefer the patriarchy because I get a life of luxury. They're equally bad. It's an equally bad way to view it, I think.
Well, I didn't say any of that. I think you think I think that because you think you know how women think, but it's not, oh, let's just have the patriarchy and do nothing.
Isn't that what she just said, though? Like, isn't that what she said? She never said anything about duty. She never said anything. Isn't that what she said? Oh, sit at home, paint our nails, do all this crazy stuff. Like, isn't that what she said? Or have I lost my mind?
Very into traditional please. I'm very supportive of traditional relationships, especially like in Judaism. That's a huge thing, and that's something I've always been raised around. And if we're talking about, you wanted to bring up Christianity, then in Judaism, there's a lot where men are the leaders, but women are actually holier. They have a higher connection to God because of their ability to bring life into this world and everything around that. So to me, if you want to say that, like, it's just funny that these old-fashioned what were commodities or just basic necessities, actually being able to make bread, you had to make your own bread. Cleaning your home, women used to have to make their own cleaning supplies and be like somewhat chemists. So I think now it's seen as a luxury to have that time, and thankfully society has evolved in that front. But like, I don't know what impression or what made you think that I think that the patriarchy means that we get to sit home all day being a mom.
You started with because we can paint our nails.
It's called a joke. You don't have
That
to be
was your
so
lead-in.
serious 24/7. You ever heard of a joke?
Yeah.
I think you'd like
Yeah,
them.
well, sure. But I mean, have you ever heard of a criticism, right? So the thing is like,
Yeah, it's what
whether
you've
you're
been
saying
dishing all
it,
show.
whether you're saying it in a joking manner or not, right? It moves to the point that I'm saying, which is that in modernity, women seem to have a massive sense of entitlement, including the ones who say, well, I'm a traditionalist. It's like, really? Are you? Or are you looking for somebody who can provide you for a life of luxury? That's the question. And usually when you get to the nitty gritty of it, when you look at what modern women want, they want a life of luxury and a man who can provide it. I don't hear them really talk about their duties and responsibilities. Like, what is your duty to society? Do you have one?
Yes.
I've said like
No, hers. Yeah,
I've said maybe 50 times that I think being a mom is the best thing you could do. But this is why, and even though we're
you
both
have a duty to be one.
even though we're both conservatives, like that's my ultimate goal in life. I think above any career or anything, being a mom and having a family, literally, this is not something you have to suck out of me. I say this on my social media every day, but this is why I have a problem with, despite us both being conservatives, this is something that I think for your own sake, if you really want to have impactful messaging and like continue to have people who maybe disagree, I don't disagree with you on most things, but even you, like to actually listen to what you're saying. A lot of times when like people on the far right, or I don't think you're far right, but I do think that on our side of the aisle, you can very clearly tell that the way you're speaking of it from a place where like you genuinely have disdain or hard feelings towards women. It's not from a place of like, I love women. They're so amazing. We need to support them, make them mothers. We need to let them, like, we need to protect women at home.
So men should be kissing women's ass because, men are this awesome. Like, I just don't understand. And you can't take criticism. So I didn't think she was joking. I think she meant it because she's not the only one. She's not the first or the last woman to ever portray, patriarchal or traditional relationship. That if you ask any Western woman what would she want, even the feminist, they will tell you, they would describe a traditional relationship. Some feminists, not all of them, they would describe a traditional relationship, which is their asses at home, and then the man will do everything, but they will all. And this is what drives me crazy. They will actually say that, yeah, it's a 50-50 relationship. The man goes to work and will provide everything, and then I would just sit at home. This is actually what they describe to be a traditional relationship, which is crazy to me. Crazy. And now every time, even from, the liberals, they are the tone police officers, okay? They know how to tone police. All they want to do is just tone police. But the women that claim that they are conservative, why are you trying to tone police? If someone, when a man, men will always talk like men. This is how men talk. You're not about to tone police and say, oh, instead of saying this thing, you got to say it this way and say this thing, but don't say this thing. Like, that is just crazy to me. That is really crazy. And this is coming from a woman that said that she loves patriarchy. I'm telling you, Western women, y'all need to research what patriarchal society looks like. Like, y'all really need to research, because I don't think that you guys know anything, not even one thing about it. You guys just have this fantasy of what you think patriarchal society looks like or a traditional relationship looks like. It's really not it. It's really not it. Go move away from the West. Talk to women that are from different areas. Middle East, Asia, Africa. Talk to those women that actually come from a patriarchal structure and ask them what that looks like.
You're like, what's your duty to society? That doesn't sound like a mature man at all. And like,
why do you think men's job is to
traditional.
kiss your ass? My job isn't to kiss your ass.
Who
My
said
job
kiss
is to
my
do
ass? I said
what's
to
true.
actually want women to be mothers
I
because
think
we
you're
want to protect
disdainful to
them.
men. I think you're disdainful to men. I think that
Me?
you only care about materialism. I think that those are the values that you have, and you haven't said a word about duty. But yet, at the same time, your criticism to me is that if we even have a dispute or an argument, suddenly it's disdainful towards all women.
No.
I've raised women into the next generation. Have you? No. I've actually done it. And so the thing is like, before you make these insane criticisms about what the right should or shouldn't be, right, maybe you should learn things like, I don't know, basic libertarian economics and laissez-faire, even though you have a degree in political science, which is fucking insane, right? I think personally that what you are is a misandrist and a covert feminist in disguise, LARPing as a conservative, because that's what most of you do.
Yeah, that makes, I think you misunderstood what I was saying. I wasn't one, that's barbaric, but two, like I've literally
What's
been
barbaric?
to say that I'm an undercover feminist when I've literally gone head to head with feminists for 5 years and all my content and everything I
Now, what
believe
is
and
feminism?
preach.
Oh, we're gonna stop it there. But this is crazy. This is really crazy. Whenever I talk to a conservative woman, like you try to push them on their beliefs, you'll be surprised how quick they start sounding like feminists. Like you would be shocked how quick they start to sound like feminists. It's just a game that I usually play. Anytime I'm talking to a conservative chick, I just try to challenge them on their beliefs, challenge them on their conservatism, challenge them on it. And the quickness to which they revert back to the default setting, which is feminism, and is quite understandable because we live in a liberal society. That's what I believe. That's what I think anyway. Because the culture is liberal. They even down to the music that we listen to is liberal. The education system is liberal. Like every facet of the institution is liberal. So I believe that the West is a liberal society. So yeah, when you challenge conservative women on their beliefs, they quickly revert back to the default setting, which is something that amuses me anytime and every time that I do it. But anyway, yeah, so that question still remains. I don't know if you guys have experienced that, and I don't know if you guys can understand. And anyway, leave your comments down below and let me know what you think about, can Western women be truly be conservative? Is that even possible? Can a Western woman that grew up in the West, lived here, that the West is all she knows, can she truly be conservative? Anyway, leave your comments down below. I would love to read them. And if you may, please subscribe. You have a good one.